What's up? This is MLB Talk 123. Now I'm going to be answering a question, not really, well, yeah, kind of a question, but Rays fan 69. They were asking me to make a video about the recent struggles. Now, these recent struggles you're talking about are very, not destined, but they're not that big of a deal, I don't think. Particular, I don't know if I said that right, but because of the fact that the Rays obviously lost guys like Carl Crawford, Carlos Pena, and so many relievers and a starter. So you can't expect them to be playing as well as they did. I think it was late April or April and a little bit of May. So you can't expect that the whole time. But they still have some players that have really stepped up this team this year. And, of course, they have tons of prospects on the way. Great farm system, and, again, that draft added a lot to it. So, look at guys who have stepped up tremendously this year to help this team. Kyle Farnsworth. He is 13 for 13 in his saves. His ERA is close to none. And he really stepped up. You know, they got this guy, and they didn't expect him to do, that great. He comes in here. He was a reliever in the past. I think he was closer before, but recent years he's been just a reliever. And he comes in here, and he's done a fantastic job. It reminds me of J.J. Putz in the Arizona Diamondbacks. Total bounce-back years for both guys, and they have been great closers for both teams. Jeremy Hellickson has been a great young starter. This guy is going to be a good starter. I believe in Jeremy Hellickson. He's had a good start to the season. His next game started is against the O's, and he's just dominated the Baltimore Orioles in recent years. Next out, we're looking at, obviously, David Price. He started the All-Star game last season, I believe. No. Yeah, maybe last season or 2 seasons ago. I remember him starting an All-Star game. He's an All-Star, obviously, a great pitcher, and one of the Rays' really shining stars pitching-wise. Then you're going to look at James Shields, who's really found himself this year. Last year, we all knew he needed to have a bounce-back year this year. Last year, he didn't have as good a year as most people thought he would. And now he's back this year with just a fantastic ERA. And him and David Price are really great top of the rotation guys right there. Catching-wise, John Jaso has done most of the time there. Last night, I think Jaso had a pretty good game. He's been better as late, but, his lines hasn't been that great. Again, John Jaso. Catching is something that the Rays need to improve on. I remember when they had Navarro, I believe. Yeah, Navarro. He was a great catcher at one point, and now I don't even know where he's at. I think he's a Dodger, but maybe in the minor leagues. I'm not even sure. We're looking at infield-wise, Reed Bruniak. The start of the season, this guy was expected to be very good, and he had such a slow start to the season. And he's starting to turn it on now. Again, last game. I'm not going to go to everything on last game, but to be honest with you, I don't closely follow the Rays, but I know enough about them to make this video, I guess, what I'm saying. But Reed Bruniak, I know last game he had a home run and a sacrifice squeeze to win the game. But overall this season, he hasn't really done anything close to what people expected. They need him to step up. And in him not stepping up, a guy who kind of has is Sean Rodriguez. He's had a very good season so far, I think, at least. Sean Rodriguez, he's starting to grow as a player. Reed Bruniak, hopefully he starts getting better and better. Casey Kochman has been actually, pretty good addition for the Rays. Then, of course, Evan Longoria, who was hurt for the start of the season. He's coming back. His average is still low. He needs to really get back to the, all healthy, ready to go Longoria, but he's had some games. It's definitely a better option than the Rays than Felipe Lopez. But Felipe Lopez has actually done a pretty good job for the Rays. I remember when he first came up for the Rays. I remember a game or two where he hit a home run, and that's not very usual for Felipe Lopez to hit a home run. So I think he likes being with the Rays, and I'm happy for him. But he was with the Cardinals last season, and it did not work out at all. But he's been pretty good for them this season, filling in for guys that need a rest or hurt. And then we're gonna look at the outfield. Sam Fold started the season. He was hitting like 400. The question was, is Sam Fold going to hit 400? This guy that no one knew his name in the start of the season. He was just as an add-in. He was added as an add-in in the Matt Garza trade when he was traded from the Cubs to the Rays. Now, I remember last season watching the Cubs end of the season. I remember watching Sam Fold. He was great defense. He always made great plays. Offense, he came through, he was pretty good offense. But he was an added. He was never someone that was really a big-name player in the trade. But he turned out to be huge in the first month. He's definitely not been able to keep it up. I think his average is down to like 250 now. But the real thing is that I believe that he really helped this team get going in the start of the season. And this team, the Rays, really need it. They started like 0-8. And they really needed a guy to step it up with Longoria being out, and Sam Fold was that guy. He jump-started this offense. Ben Zobrist also did great in the beginning of the year. Not the beginning of the year, but, I remember that game where he had like 8 RBIs. So, I mean, he's had some big games. But overall, he hasn't been too consistent. Again, this is a guy who strikes out a lot, who has a pretty low average. Not like a super low average, but I think it's around 270. Again, I'm not sure on all of these. I'm going from my head here, but Ben Zobrist as a second baseman or right fielder, they've used him at second this year. And I don't see him ever really playing outfield that much because of the fact that the outfield has B.J. Upton, Matt Joyce, and Sam Fold. Now, I could see him playing right field for the time being, but when Desmond Jennings comes up, I don't see him playing right field really this season, unless Desmond Jennings just doesn't hit at all and he doesn't stay with the team or something like that. But so Ben Zobrist is a good second baseman. It's great for the Rays to have power at that position, though. That's one of the positions that they really need power at. So Ben Zobrist is a good add to this lineup. Now, again, for outfielders, Matt Joyce. He was leading the majors in average. I'm not sure if he still is. He might. But, man, Matt Joyce, dang, he has had he could, if he keeps it up, he could definitely have a career year here. This guy has been one of the top fantasy outfielders, not just in fantasy, but just in baseball. He's been one of the top outfielders. He's had some power. He's driven a lot of runs. His average is just way up there. And this is a pretty young guy. This is a guy that the Rays actually traded for. This is a guy that they really believed could be something, and they've always stuck with him. And this year is paid off because without this guy, I don't know where the Rays would be. This guy and Evan Longoria and Ben Zobrist and Johnny Damon. And that's the next thing I'm going to talk about after I talk about B.J. Upton. Got to get some for B.J. But B.J., I think he has 10 homers this season or so. I'm going to look it up right here. But B.J. Upton, he just looked like he had so much potential. You look at his brother, Justin Upton. He's the first pick in the 2005 draft. And look at the number that he's putting up. And his brother, B.J. Upton, looked like he had so much potential. You remember when he hit, like almost a postseason record, 8 home runs. You're looking at this guy, has a pretty good swing, a smooth swing. I mean, you look at him hitting home runs, and you look at him in the outfield, too. It's just natural talent. Here's his stats for the season. 58 games, 206 at-bats, 32 runs, 47 hits, 81 total bases, 10 doubles, 8 home runs, 30 RBIs, 27 walks, 62 strikeouts. He does have 12 stolen bases and a 228 average. On-base percentage, 319. Ouch. B.J. Upton, he needs to figure it out because this is a guy that the Rays rely heavily on. And this is a guy that if he puts up numbers 25 to, just say 20 to 25. Yeah, let's go 25 home runs. If he hits 25 home runs. If they get Desmond Jennings in there and he hits, 300 or so, and steals a lot of bases. And I'm not just talking about this season. I'm talking about seasons to come. You look at what this outfield can be, and then if they get a guy, Mike Maddock, in there to slug some out, and you got Matt Joyce, so they have a very good outfield is what I'm going to say. Is that they have a good outfield right now, but it can be better. They have Desmond Jennings in there. They have B.J. Upton, or there's been rumors of B.J. Upton. The Nationals are interested in him. That doesn't mean the Rays are going to trade him. All I know is that if the Rays are still not competing for the AL East, then it could be a possibility of a trade because, or at least they might wait till there's another really developed outfielder in AAA, or if Sam Fuld was playing very good. Think about it. If Sam Fuld is playing very good and you have Matt Joyce and you get Desmond Jennings, B.J. Upton, he's not expendable. Someone is, though. So there's different options on the table there. Again, the best option for them would probably be not to trade him. But if they get to the feel and the organization-wise, if they have enough outfielders, and this might not be this year, it might be years to come. All I know is that B.J. Upton needs to be more consistent and produce more if he wants to be, the guy I think most people thought he could be. There's so much potential, and I think most people, the biggest career moment for him has been the 2008 postseason, and that's not anything bad because if you go to the World Series, that should be your biggest part of your career. But people remember him for the 8 home runs in the postseason that one year, but he hasn't really been consistent since then, I don't think. Now, their DH, they signed Johnny Damon and Manny Ramirez in the beginning of the year. Manny Ramirez got suspended again. Instead of taking the suspension, he just retired. Another caught with drug use. I forget now what he used, but Johnny Damon has been a hero for this team. Day in and day out, this guy is getting huge hits. I remember 1 week early in the season when they were on fire, he had like a few walk-offs in a row. I mean, this guy has been fantastic for this team. He's hit home runs. He's gotten tons of RBIs. Let's look at his stats for the season. This is a guy who's, I'm going to check on his age right here, but, this guy, it wasn't that big of a contract. He's definitely played already to what his contract was for the season. He comes to the Rays, and he's been fantastic for him. Let's look at his stats for the season. We have a 283 average. That's solid, especially, let's see how old he is, actually. He is 36. We do the math. 38, I believe. 38. And this guy is 38. He's hitting 283. He has 7 stolen bases. He only has 31 strikeouts in 233 plate appearances. He has 7 home runs, 32 RBIs, 14 walks, 10 doubles, 2 triples, 66 hits.
In this season?
For the season so far. Now, for a guy who they signed for not a huge contract, for a guy that's 38 years old, he's put up pretty good numbers. So, Johnny Damon, I think, has been a huge part of the Rays' success. So many different guys coming at different times. I think if they all get hot at the right time, this team can be something. I'm looking at Sean Rodriguez stats now that I'm looking at. He's only batting 208. I think, again, Sean Rodriguez and Reed Bruniac.
Sean Rodriguez was in Detroit, wasn't he?
No, Sean Rodriguez, it says he's a third baseman. For some reason, I think he plays shortstop. I don't know why. But there's some guys that I think could definitely have more potential. And if the Rays, if these guys step up, the Rays can be a good team. They're going to be a good team in the years. And just being around 500 or more just shows how great of an organization this Tampa Bay Rays has become because they've overcome so much with all these free agents leaving. I think this team can be a good team this year and can be a great team in the coming years with all these draft picks coming up. And it's kind of scary to think that this team only take a few years to be as good as they were in 08 and 09 after all the free agents left and all the trades that they made. But this team, if you're a Rays fan, never lose hope in this team. This team can go out and win 20 in a row. They can get close and maybe even win the wild card this season. There's nothing out of the picture for the Rays. They've done amazing things this year, and they've done amazing things in the past. So never count out the Rays. Gives you hope on that one, and they have great players, a lot of potential there. So they can really do something. I believe in the Rays, and I always will. So give the Rays time. Thanks for watching this video. If you're still watching, this is MLB Talk 123. Thanks for requesting a video. Thanks for the idea. And that is the Rays kind of overview of their team. Thank you for watching.